Rio Ngumoha annoyed me by taking my Liverpool record, but he can be one of the best in world. Ben Woodburn saw his record as Liverpool's youngest ever goalscorer taken away in August, but he is predicting big things for Rio Ngumoha. Rio Ngumoha has been backed to become one of the best wingers in the world by the man he scrubbed from the Liverpool record books. Reds teenage talent Ngumoha became the youngest goalscorer in the club's history when he struck a 100th-minute winner to beat Newcastle 3-2 at St James Park in August at the age of 16 years and 361 days, taking the previous record set by Ben Woodburn when he struck against Leeds United in the League Cup at the age of 17 years and 45 days in November 2016. Woodburn, now at Salford City, admits he didn't enjoy seeing his record fall, but thinks Ngumoha has got what it takes to become a global star with the Reds. "I didn't love it," Woodburn told the Manchester Evening News when asked about seeing his record go. "But I was really happy for him. For me, I kind of felt in the moment that the record didn't really matter. I probably didn't realize how big it was at the time, so I'd imagine he's the same. He's probably just loving playing his football. He's played since and he's been great every time he's played for Liverpool, so I'm sure he'll be fine." Liverpool have just signed Isak and Ekatike for over £80 million each. It's so difficult for a 17-year-old lad to play, but I was surprised how many games he's played already. To me, he looks like he could be one of the best wingers in the world at one point, so hopefully he can kick on and do that. Things didn't work out for Woodburn at Anfield after he burst onto the scene as a teenager, and the Wales international ended up leaving the Reds in 2022 after 11 appearances for the first team, the same amount of international caps he has for his country. Ben Woodburn was 17 years and 45 days old when he scored against Leeds United in November 2016. He was loaned out by the Reds 4 times before joining Preston on a permanent deal 3 years ago, and then moving on to Salford last year. "I went on a few loans where I didn't play as many games as I needed to," admits Woodburn. "I stumbled in my career at that point. When you're not playing and other kids are playing, they're going to get better and better. I learned a lot from going on those loans. But it probably wasn't ideal that I wasn't playing all the time at 17 and 18. I didn't play too much for half a season at Sheffield United. Then I got injured, so I wasn't even training back at Liverpool. Oxford, I got injured for 6 months. It's hard to get going again after getting injured and not really playing." Woodburn Riemann's close friends with Trent Alexander-Arnold, having emerged from the Reds Academy alongside the former vice-captain, who left for Real Madrid this summer. "I'm good mates with Trent, so I speak to him quite a bit," he says. "It's more jokey now if we're speaking about football. Nothing too serious. There's not much I can tell Trent is there. He's one of the best right-backs in the world, if not the best. It's more of a friend relationship than anything professional." After the ups and downs in his career, Woodburn is now enjoying himself with Salford in League Two, with the Welshman having made 15 appearances already this season. "It's been good for me. I've got to live at home. It's been nice. I enjoy playing here, enjoy the fans, enjoy the manager, the group of lads. So yeah, I can't complain really," he said. "I think I've always just wanted to feel part of a team where I'm really involved, and here I definitely feel that. I think I've always been at my best in my career when I've played game after game. When I'm not taking breaks in between or being on the bench, that's when I kind of get out of rhythm. When I'm constantly playing, I think that's when I play my best football." Newcastle United on alert to Mark Guéhi's reaction after Liverpool transfer debacle. Newcastle United have been watching Mark Guéhi's reaction following his failed move to Liverpool. Guéhi almost joined Liverpool on deadline day, only to see the deal collapse in the final stages of a dramatic summer transfer window. The England international is expected to leave Crystal Palace at some point over the next 2 transfer windows, with his contract due to expire in the summer of 2026. Newcastle tried and failed to sign Guéhi in 2024 and have since strengthened their defense by signing Malik Thiaw. Thiaw has made a brilliant start to life at Newcastle, but it seems that the door remains somewhat open to Guéhi moving to St James Park. Newcastle United remain interested in Mark Guéhi. According to the Chronicle, Newcastle have not totally given up on the prospect of signing Guéhi either in January or next summer. The defender is said to remain of interest even after the club signed Thiaw, particularly if he can be signed for a reasonably cheap fee given his contractual status. The report adds that Newcastle have had scouts in attendance to watch how Guéhi has reacted to the Liverpool saga. Considering his performances for the Eagles, it's not hard to imagine those Newcastle scouts being impressed. Mark Guéhi has made a decision on his next club. Guéhi now looks set to enter the market as a free agent next summer, unless he leaves in January. That will be an exciting prospect for the player. If he's on a free transfer, he's in a position to demand a lucrative signing-on fee. With that in mind, it's hard to see Newcastle winning the race. Frankly, Newcastle's wage structure does not allow them to pay what some of the biggest clubs in the world can offer players. Liverpool and Bayern Munich have new challenger in Marc Guéhi pursuit, as Inter hope Crystal Palace interest in €35 million defender gives them advantage in transfer battle. Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Barcelona have been joined by Serie A heavyweights Inter in the race to sign Marc Guéhi. The Crystal Palace star, who will leave the club as a free agent next summer, could arrive at San Siro in January in a surprise transfer exchange, which would see Inter's Jan Bissek move the other way. Guéhi set to join one of Europe's top clubs next year. Guéhi has already confirmed his desire to leave Crystal Palace. The only uncertainty is whether he will depart in January or leave as a free agent at the end of the season. Over the summer, there was an agreement in place between Palace and Liverpool for the transfer of Guéhi. Surprisingly, the €40 million, £35M/$47M, move collapsed on deadline day after the Eagles failed to find a suitable replacement. The Reds, though, haven't given up on their pursuit of the rock-solid English defender. But they aren't the only side to have shown an interest in acquiring Guéhi's signature. Indeed, La Liga heavyweights Barcelona and Real Madrid, as well as reigning Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, are keen on signing the Palace captain. Inter enter the fray for Guéhi. According to a report from Tuttosport, the European giants have been joined by Inter in the race to land the coveted signature of Guéhi. The Nerazzurri are planning to propose a January transfer exchange involving Jan Bissek. The Cologne-born defender was reportedly already approached by Palace in the summer, tabling a €35 million, £30M/$41M, offer for the 24-year-old services. Both the club and the player rejected the proposal, with Bissek opting to continue at Inter after making 46 appearances last season. Bissek, the trump card Inter could use to sign Guéhi. The loan arrival of Manuel Akanji from Manchester City has changed the situation to a great extent. With Bissek now further down the pecking order under Christian Chivu, Palace could reignite their pursuit of the German international in January. Inter would not reject such an offer this time around. Instead, they are planning to use Bissek in a straightforward swap deal in a bid to lure Guéhi. The move makes sense financially and sportingly for all parties. As Palace fear losing Guéhi for free, Bissek fears losing out on game time and thus a chance of a spot in Germany's squad for next year's World Cup, and Inter fear having a lack of adequate depth in defense. Guéhi not the only name on Inter's mind. Inter continue to monitor defensive prospects, with Ecuadorian prospect Joel Ordóñez of Club Brugge among the names linked. Also on Inter's radar are Wolfsburg's Konstantinos Kouliarakis and Serie A-based targets. Udinese Zomer Solit, Lazio's Mario Hila, who is also being eyed by rivals AC Milan, and Sassuolo's Tarek Muharrimovic. Florian Wirtz is no Luis Suarez, but I don't think Liverpool regrets selling Luis Diaz. Liverpool sold Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich for £65 million in July during a big summer of change that saw £116 million Florian Wirtz arrive from Bayer Leverkusen. Emil Heskey has claimed Liverpool will have no regrets over selling Luis Diaz, but admits patience is needed before Florian Wirtz fully settles on Merseyside. Former Red striker Heskey, who was a key part of the squad that lifted the UEFA Cup, League Cup and FA Cup in 2001, says the decision to offload Diaz to Bayern Munich in July for £65 million made sense from a business perspective. Heskey thinks the call to move Colombia international Diaz on in the summer has afforded Cody Gakpo an opportunity that he has yet to grasp in the Liverpool team this season after 3 successive defeats against Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and Chelsea. "I think Gakpo needs to come into his own," Heskey told Pundit Arena. "I think he's got to show a little bit more, especially on that left wing. He needs to show a little bit more for me. I was hoping he could be the one that would be stepping into that void that Luis Diaz has left." I don't think they regret selling Diaz though. Business is business. No matter how much a team spends on a player, they're still going to need a little period of bedding in, and it might be longer for some than others. When you look at Luis Suarez, he hit the ground running. But not every player's like that. Wirtz is needing that bedding in period, especially with the price tag, because that will be in his head as well. I don't think Wirtz's start would have dented his confidence. Sometimes you've got to take someone out of the firing line. You've got to remember this, and we talk about it all the time with this being the toughest league in the world and being the most relentless as well. So some players need to be taken out the firing line and taken out the firing line for their own good, because if you ask the player, they'll say, "No, keep me playing." And it might not be right for them. So sometimes you take them out the firing line, give them a little freshen up, and then put them back in and slowly bring them back into the team. When you look at the intensity that he has to play at in this Liverpool side, I doubt he would have had to play like that ever before. So he's got to get used to that, and then as well, when you're talking about defensively, you've got to say some of the Premier League defenses are the best in the world. So I think you've just got to give the players like Wirtz time. The Premier League champions return to action on October 19th when they entertain Manchester United at Anfield, and Arne Slot enters the most-watched club fixture in football on his worst run as Liverpool boss, having lost 3 in a row before the international break. Former England striker Heskey added, defensively, he wants to get things solid again. Konate and Van Dijk were solid last season, but it just looks a little bit jaded. Obviously with the fullbacks, Trent's not there anymore. Frimpong and Kerkez are just bedding in. So Slot is trying to find that match that Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Trent had. They were solid, and he's got to try and find that again. It might not look exactly the same, but it's got to have some sort of solidity to it. If you're talking about out-and-out strikers, I'd rather have Isak starting than Ekatike because I've seen him do it before. Don't get me wrong, I think Ekatike has done fantastic and he's got so much to give. I'd be interested to see if it could be done with 2 of them up front or one of them on the left drifting in with Kerkez coming and overlapping a little bit more. Injury blow for the Reds. Liverpool's best player to be assessed after suffering concerning discomfort on international duty. Liverpool face an anxious wait over Ryan Gravenberch's fitness after the midfielder was substituted at halftime during the Netherlands World Cup qualifier against Finland on Sunday. The Dutchman has emerged as one of the Reds' most important players under Arne Slot, and the injury comes at an inopportune time. The Premier League champions have lost all of their last 3 fixtures. Gravenberch's injury scare. Per The Athletic, Gravenberch is set to be assessed after appearing to sustain an injury during the Netherlands World Cup qualifying win over Finland at the weekend. Ronald Koeman revealed at full-time that the substitution was precautionary in nature, although he did explain that the Red Star was suffering from hamstring discomfort. He has only missed 8 games throughout his time with the Reds, but could now be facing up to the reality of a layoff. Liverpool play Manchester United next and could do without arguably their best player, who previously struggled in Jurgen Klopp's final season. Being in the treatment room, he has been linked with Real Madrid, but his performances this season surely merit a new contract. Koeman said at full-time, Ryan indicated he was experiencing some minor hamstring discomfort. We obviously didn't take any risks with that. Gravenberch enjoying life under Slot. Manager Slot has transformed Gravenberch into one of the finest players in the Premier League, and he has revealed his delight at working under his countrymen at Anfield. He said, I just feel good in my skin, to be honest. But does that have a reason? Yeah, things are going well at the club. I'm just doing my thing, and it's working out well now. He, Slot, gives me confidence now. He just lets me start in the lineup. It's going pretty well. As a player, you obviously want to get minutes. For me, that confidence is part of it. With that confidence, I feel more comfortable, and with the minutes, it keeps getting better. Gravenberch added, he's a good coach. He knows what he wants. He has a clear plan. Yeah, so far, we're executing it really well. Clarity from the start is always nice for me. Pundit Jolien Lescott, meanwhile, has claimed he is one of the best midfielders in the world, adding, there's an argument for it. His contributions, his goals and assists. He's been in a title-winning team. He's been the best 6 in the league. He was arguably their best player last year. He should definitely be considered. If you're one of the best in any position in the Premier League, then you're going to be considered the best in the world. Gravenberch allays fears. The midfielder himself appears to have backed Koeman's version of events, insisting that he was only withdrawn as a precautionary measure. He added, it had a bit to do with fitness. The season is long, so it was precautionary. I feel good about myself and I have the confidence of the trainer. Thus far this season, the 23-year-old has made 8 appearances in all competitions, scoring 2 goals and providing 2 assists. He has been unable to limit their recent woes though, with the Reds losing to Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, and Chelsea on the bounce. Slot side remain at the right end of the league table. They are second, just 1 point behind leaders Arsenal, ahead of the resumption of domestic duties. What comes next for Liverpool? Liverpool face United next weekend and will hope to have Gravenberch available. The Reds can ill afford a defeat against United, who sit 10th in the Premier League table. Once a classic rivalry, it has become altogether one-sided in recent years, and United have won just 2 of the last 10 meetings between the two clubs. Last season, at Anfield, The two drew 2-2, but Liverpool won 3-0 at Old Trafford. United have, at least, clawed back some credibility. Since a thumping 7-0 defeat at Anfield in 2023, the Red Devils have lost only once there, drawing 3 and winning 1.